Hey everyone, it's Eric here. I just wanted to make a really quick video, and this is really more of a test video for my purposes, just so I can make sure everything is okay. Volume, the camera I'm using is displaying the pictures the way I want them, stuff like that, and actually looking into getting online recorder as well, so I can actually do some of the work and you can follow what I'm doing step by step. But this is really just an overview, just to give you a quick look at my current workspace, what I'm working with using Visual Studio 2017 Enterprise. I'm working on this application for this company, and it was really been about a year in the making. Went through this whole planning process, really sourcing out a lot of different vendors, really trying to see what is the best fit for this client, which vendors offer the most for their solution as far as a software development kit goes, and just really laid out the path for them, really just trying out different trials. There's a lot of different vendors out there that you can go and just download their trial software development kits, give them a go. And ultimately what I found out was this company called Progress and Telerik. So they offer a pretty good software development kit for developers if you're in that realm. And I came at it from a business analyst perspective and really dove in there and tried to recreate some of our reports that we were doing for our data center migrations early last year, and found that this could be a good tool. We didn't use it for migrations, however, started looking into using it for our lifecycle program, our global IT lifecycle program, and found it was a better fit there, just because the program was longer and we knew this application was gonna take a lot more as far as planning. It was gonna take a lot more buy-in from leadership, so that meant we really had to put a lot of effort in as far as eye appeal. But fast forward a year later, here we are. We just rolled out the grid today. So Telerik, they offer a pretty good responsive grid, the Kendo Ui Grid, and that's what I'm gonna give you a quick peek here today. And it's actually pretty cool. Actually, I already have it open. So I use Visual Studio 2017 Enterprise Edition, and we have the SQL Server data tools as well. And then I just recently downloaded the 2018 SQL Server Management Studio with the Service Pack 1. So Service Pack 1, even though if you're using the standard edition for SQL Server Management Studio, what a lot of people say is if you're using the CDC, the Change Data Capture, you can't use it with standard. However, you can bypass that if you download or install the SP1 for this. So now we have CDC installed in our database. So what you're seeing here is our database that I built. So all these tables to the left is all of our tables, and this is a relational database. So a lot of foreign keys going on, which is really good because I built this in, sorry if you hear that beep, that's because my alarm just went off and Christy just got home from work, so she's home now. Alright, anyway, here's our database. It's pretty robust. There's some stored procedures and stuff like that, and there in the background we have some SSIS packages that do some of our ETL for us. So we have a SharePoint list, which I'm going to pan over here, which I manage in Access. So MS Access I do a lot of work in as well. So I utilize Access to integrate both our SQL Server database with our SharePoint site as well. So our SSIS package is actually pretty simple. You can see it only has 3 components. We can dive in and do whatever we want. But let's take a look at the app really quick, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. So here's the application. You can see I have quite a bit going on. There's different views in here and stuff. I have a few controllers. There's some just a couple data models in there. A lot of scripts, the Bootstrap scripts. So that's where a lot of our design and feel comes from. But a few views in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Run here for you. It's going to open up in Google, and this is the of course the dev environment. So whatever's showing here is not actually going to be published. So this is like the flat standard ASP.NET view that you would get. So this is going to be our landing page, for our reports, and then there's going to be a link to this other project that I'm working on, which is the backend for our engineers to actually work on their work items. So this is the Kendo Ui Grid, very responsive, has really good graphics. The reporting in there is really good. So this layout here is a custom layout I built. So to get this layout, you have to know CSS. So if you're familiar with CSS, HTML, you can really do some good designs of graphics and reports and stuff. And so here's our grid that I just wanted to show you. It's actually pretty cool. So this is our execution list, we call it, but really it's just a list what we use to manage our work items. But what I like here, if you can see here, it has a drag and drop feature of the headers, where you can just drag and drop a field to the top, and you can drag multiple fields and it groups on demand. So if you're familiar with SharePoint and how grouping works, it gives you that same type of field. So you can group on demand. I added in some aggregates, so then it gives you the counts based on the grouping. So what I did was, by PM and status. So then it does on-demand counting. So it does some pretty cool stuff. You have to do a little customization. You can see it's still loading there. But like one of the things I threw in there was the filters that allows you to select the values, such as what you would see in SharePoint. So you can do checkboxes, stuff like that. So a lot of this grid is not what you would get out of the box. You have to add a lot of this functionality in once you create your controller from your model. So if you're familiar with ASP.NET MVC, you can import your database into your application, and you're able to view the diagram once you import it to see your data model. So then you'll be able to see your different relationships that you have set up. So you can see there's a lot of tables going on. There's a lot of relationships here. There's a lot of foreign keys. So this here is all our drop down menus that we create in our controllers. And when I say create, I mean me. It's pretty much me just doing this development. So right now I'm the sole developer, the sole business analyst that saw this program out, and this program for this program, if you will. So I presented them with this product, with this solution, and they really liked it. And as you can tell, just the way the graphics look is on the reporting is actually pretty good, pretty responsive if you add some filters and stuff like that. But like I said, this was primarily going to be used so we can start tracking engineers and PMs work efforts, and we have the timestamping. And the timestamping, like I said, I built on our on the SQL side. So this is a SQL database. You can see it's quite a big database. So there's a lot going on. But this is just a sample of what I do for this one company. So this is more on the business analyst / developer side. an application developer, SQL developer. I do a lot of SQL scripts, and a lot of the things I do here in this database, I then import into Access through an ODBC connection, and from there, you can probably see these orange items here. Those are SharePoint lists, different SharePoint lists that I then use to push updates to, and then keep our global community updated through different reports on SharePoint dashboards. And my other company that I'm working for, that's exactly what I do. So that you see there is on their SharePoint list, and that's the reporting I built for them. This is how our data flows from the different resources. So all of those boxes you see there, from the top left corner to get to the top or the bottom right hand corner, all those processes in between is where that will end up there. So all these points are all tracking different users, different touch points, different systems, and the process that we have to go through in order to get this end result. But I developed this, just a little model of how we should take these different systems and integrate them, because these different systems are all different. They don't all share the same relationships as far as, identical IDs was a big issue I had with them. But, we still came through, put together some, pretty cool looking dashboards for them, so they can see what's going on with their different lines of businesses, track the resources, see where their progress is going, what their forecasting is look like for the next quarter, next few quarters, stuff like that. But this application here is one I actually wanted to rebuild. So for my company, CAS Consulting, I went ahead and did purchase the Kendo Ui Telerik product as well, so that I can start doing development for my own company as well. So making my own applications out the house, keep it in house, I should say. Well, that's all I had so far.